Shuffling, everybody. You are here with Daniel and Zach, and this is the Assistant Manager.
What's up, Daniel? Feeling good. Back from vacation. I'm well rested and slightly less white than I was. Not tan, but just slightly less white. Yeah.
Right. Hard to come
So,
back home, huh?
oh man, that it was. I had the real blues on what was it, Tuesday? Coming home. It was. I mean, for those of you listening, Daniel and I are in Utah, where it was. Did it snow last week? Like it was rain,
It was
sleeting,
mostly rain, but yeah, a little bit of
and
frozen
cold.
precipitation.
So my wife and I took a vacation to Scottsdale, Arizona. I lounged at the pool in 90-degree weather. It was beautiful. It was gorgeous. So yeah, it was tough to come back, but I did it. I came back just for the podcast. Had to be back
Just
on
for us.
Wednesday night. I told my wife I'm back at Wednesday night, 8:30 sharp. The assistant manager back online.
You know that's right. You know that's right.
Also, I forgot my hat. I think this is the first time we've done it and I didn't wear a hat. So that's
Hey, you look
I
great.
don't have
You
any
look great
hats.
except
I
for
don't
the
have any hats
Seahawks
either.
shirt on.
Hey, I got my Hawks.
Hey,
I got my boys in the back.
but you came back, and well, even on your trip, I was bombarding you with all sorts of news and
That's true.
updates. Some of the biggest news coming out, as we know, Erling Haaland, one of the biggest free agents of this summer, well, release clause agents of this summer, he looks to be nearing Man City. What's your initial reaction to that?
Ugh, gross, gross. Why would he want to go there? Why would he? I mean, okay. Let me rephrase that. I understand why he'd want to go there, in the sense that you get to work with Pep Guardiola. Manchester City are an absolute machine that wins everything.
His father played for Manchester City.
His father played for Manchester City. Thank you for that little tidbit. I did not know that. But I don't know. I look at players like Jack Grealish. Jack Grealish is fundamentally a different player. Uh,
He's almost non-existent.
he's almost non-existent. Started on the bench
Fundamentally
for
on the
them.
bench.
Fundamentally on the bench into reserves.
Even when he plays, his talent is benched, essentially. What made
Yeah,
Jack
he's
Grealish great is not fit at Man City. I don't get that.
100%. Yep. Yeah, he was good at what are his strengths? Dribbling at people. He was the most fouled player in the EPL when he was at Villa. And now he's, I mean, look, when if you're going to play for Pep Guardiola, you've got to buy into the system. The only person allowed to have any kind of free reign is Kevin De Bruyne. Yeah, he's just a different player. Jack Grealish doesn't take anybody on. He looks different. It's a shame. It's honestly a shame. And
And
I don't think it's good for football. Like them just hoarding all of this great talent is just it's not good for competition.
well, I have two biggest beefs with Manchester City. First is the mindset of the players that go there. First of all, you have all these top tier talent who would be starters on other teams or who were starters on other teams who are okay with not playing every game. I am so far from that mindset, I don't understand. Like to just be okay not playing. So that's my first big gripe is just the mindset. And I get they win a lot, so that's fun. But I would prefer to be a difference maker rather than a role player or a backup at a Man City. Um,
Is that selfish of you? Maybe they see themselves as buying into the system. They're giving something up that's bigger than themselves at Manchester City. That's a lie. They're on incredible wages
yeah,
to play
yeah, no,
half
no.
the footy and
Yep,
win double the trophies.
yep. That's true. That's quite a phrase right there.
That
So my second,
that's not a bad business plan right there.
yeah, half the
Yo,
footy, double the trophies.
Manchester City is triple the wages, half the footy, double the trophies.
See, that's what I'm saying. Is Jack Grealish is no Harry Kane, loyal through and through.
Oh, oh, your man Harry tried to push his way through and did not get
I
through.
know it. I know. Okay, so my second big beef with Man City is, at least currently under Pep Guardiola, is they take all the fun out of any of their players. Which I get, you could twist that as well, saying it's incredible discipline, it's great. But here's the thing, Jack Grealish is the perfect example. One of the most exciting players in the Premier League, most fouled, most dribbles, taking people on, always making the game exciting, hard for defenders. Now you turn him into a one-touch, two-touch passer, and that's just the way City plays. And it's just it
So you
it
don't
takes
like
all the
you don't
fun.
like watching City? You don't
I
like
do not
watching them
like
play?
watching City. I think they're poor at creating chances. Actually, they're good at finishing chances, poor at creating them. That's why, like today against Brighton, how they possess the ball for so long, and it's just like they, yeah, when they create a chance, they'll score it, and they will eventually create a chance because they just have that much pressure. But I personally don't think they're anywhere near Liverpool's level at creating chances.
Whoa. Say that again. Say
Or
that one more time.
Tottenham's level. Or Tottenham's level.
Okay, then you gotta ruin it. You gotta ruin it. Oh man. I mean, yeah, to a certain extent, I agree. Watching City can be boring, but I mean, I, I also have to disagree though. When you watch Kevin De Bruyne play, I mean, watch Riyad Mahrez, like those, they still have a lot of creativity. I mean, I tell people every day I do a lot of things to get Phil Foden on my team. He's very good. They're still fun. They still can be fun to watch. I get what you're saying though in terms of they're almost so predictable. They're just gonna have the ball. They're gonna do the same things, but man, are they good? They
Yeah,
are
no, and I'm
very
not trying to
good.
say they're bad. They're good. They're very good.
But no, I get it. There's almost no excitement coming into the season. Like every new season for the past 3 years, I feel like it's exciting as a Liverpool supporter, right? Because we're right there. We're right with City. Um, but there's almost no excitement. It's like, okay, well, we already know the top three, so
Mm.
who's going to be the fourth? And out of, for options to be the fourth, there's really only a few of you. Tottenham could be in the top three, or maybe they're in the fourth conversation. Arsenal, Manchester United, Chelsea, and then who? It's the big six every time, and
Well,
it's
I
so
would disagree.
predictable.
This season has shown that that's not the case. West Ham been in the mix a long time. Wolves surprisingly in the mix, and I mean Wolves without their deep run into the Europa League, maybe they might be pushing harder in the Premier League. You know what I mean? So
Fair,
I
fair.
I
I just
I agree for the top three, but I wouldn't say top four has been a lock for any of the big six.
it's not even exciting. I mean, like what? We're looking at the rest of City's schedule, and I'm just going points, points. They're not going to drop points.
Yeah,
Like, I don't know. As a Liverpool supporter, like I love the fact that we're always at the top.
not
As a
always.
pretty close.
You have
As a
three good seasons.
okay. All right, easy there. We made it to a UEFA Champions League final one time. All
Hey,
right, calm down.
we were at one
Hey,
point
hey,
favorites to win the
hey.
conference league.
Oh boy. Oh man. But no, but like as a neutral, it's so then Manchester City getting Erling Haaland is like great. Now you guys win the league by 10 more points
well,
than
I
you do this season. Like
that,
I don't know. Like what but the other part of me is like, well, I don't want him to go to Manchester United, but honestly for the sake of like the league, that's probably better that he
well,
goes somewhere
I
else.
I here's the thing. Well, but he goes to any league and adds to it, right? He's going to go to any league and add a big dynamic. Just
I want
his
to
name.
see, I want to see him go to. Let me think about this.
You want him to go to Newcastle on a fat wage for his
Newcastle.
giant?
Yeah,
Really?
like go somewhere different. I don't know.
Here,
Like I understand it. You know, you want to win trophies and whatever, but the neutral in me is like go
don't do City.
somewhere. Yeah, just don't do City.
Well,
Don't do the
well,
big ones.
here's
Don't do the big ones. Don't do Bayern. Don't go
yeah.
to Bayern.
Don't do Bayern. Oh
Don't go
man.
to Juve. I swear to God, if he goes to Barcelona or Real Madrid, I'll vomit. Don't go to
Yeah,
City. Don't go to Liverpool. Don't go to Manchester United. Don't go to Chelsea.
yeah.
I don't.
Be a fun choice. I not like
Tottenham,
he'd ever
honestly,
come.
no, but honestly though, like Tottenham would be a fun choice. I think that him teaming up with Harry Kane is like that's exciting. Even though
That would be
I don't want to play that,
yeah.
but like, you know what I mean? Like
That'd be
that's exciting.
crazy.
Uh, I don't think he'd go to Arsenal, but yeah, go to Newcastle. They're building something.
Yeah.
Be the
Well,
talisman there.
well,
Be
Man City have these diminishing returns, right? They could buy Jack Grealish, and for any other team in the well, not any other team. Let's say the anyone out of the top three teams, and that's a big return in the signing, right? But
mhm.
they have such a diminished return from their investment at this point, right? Just such a diminished return. They could spend 200 million pounds this summer and not be that much better than they already are, right? Because their squad level is so high. So it's like if you want to be a big name, a big signing, right? Don't go somewhere where your return is diminished because you're gonna share time with Gabriel Jesus, you know. But let me tell you something. There was a quote flying around that apparently Pep told Man City, at all costs, get Haaland. There originally a figure was flying around that he'd get gross 1 million pounds a week. So that would be
Dude, it's like Draymond Green calling Kevin Durant after they just lost to the Cavs, and he's going, "Look, bro, I know we've got myself. I know we've got Steve Kerr as the coach. I know we've got Hall of Famer Steph Curry, fellow Hall of Famer Klay Thompson, but we just couldn't put it together. So we need to add the other greatest scorer in the league in Kevin Durant."
well,
Like
yeah. So
they're
that's
it's
what.
like they're buying players just so other people can't have them.
Well, that's the thing with the top clubs is, and we kind of want to talk about that, and let's get into that a little bit later in the podcast. Just the loan dynamic needs to change, and there is some loan legislation coming out. I don't know if
Shame on you,
legislation is the right word,
Chelsea.
but so here's my question to you. Okay, obviously there's teams that don't have to decide. They can have both the team and the player, right? But
Yep.
that experiment hasn't always worked out, right? Look at
Yep.
Manchester United right now. They have spent almost equally on their squad that City has,
That
and
is
which is
disgusting.
which is gross that
That is disgusting.
they've spent almost the same, and that the
They're that
return for
bad.
them is just the gap is absolutely massive, bro. Um, so here's my question: for reasonable teams with reasonable amounts of money, if you had a chance to sign, let's say you're Newcastle at this point, you bring in Holland, but that would then sacrifice your spending power on the rest of the team. Would you do so? Newcastle don't have this issue, but let's just imagine. Or do you think that it's, kind of a Brighton approach where it's let's build as a team and then maybe once we get to a certain point, start bringing in superstars? What would you go for? If you were Newcastle, would you bring in the superstar? That's all you can really do, or would you kind of spread the love around the team?
I'm spreading the love. I think that there are instances where buying the superstar takes you to that next level.
What instance?
But um,
Didn't work for PSG, hasn't worked for Manchester United. I mean, PSG have the biggest stars you can get: Mbappe, Neymar, Di Maria, Messi. Yeah, I mean,
Honestly, I'm really just thinking Ronaldo when he left Manchester United and went to Real Madrid. I mean,
that
they're
worked.
already right. They're already Real Madrid, but like next level Real Madrid, if you know what I mean.
So you're saying you
Um,
have to be at the tippity top, basically, to be bringing in the superstars.
yeah, but I mean, okay, so let's play out the scenario. If I'm Newcastle and I can bring in Holland or a team, I'm spreading the love, long term success. I think of. I don't think there's like has a team won anything meaningful that's just had the superstar and then just like some supporting cast. Like I'm trying to think. Not really. Not really. I mean, if you want to count like Manchester City, but they're a team. Like first and
Yeah.
foremost, they're a team for sure.
Yeah,
But
they got the best of both worlds. But here's the thing though, is they live their life in a financial deficit. They live their club lives in the red. Whether that actually reflects on income statements or whether that is offset because their sponsors are also their owners. So
mm-hmm.
any negative on the income statement can just be offset by more advertising income, which is just, you know, just horrific that happens, and you know they get
Yeah,
away with it.
no, it's gross. It's really gross. Um, yeah, but I don't know. Spread. I would spread the love. I'm not spending it on the superstars. I think you just see day in day out. It doesn't work. Manchester United spent the same as Manchester City. That's insane. I mean, they
Yeah,
spent.
it's comparable. I think City edged them out by just a little bit, but it's comparable.
I mean, they spend buckets of money on Jaden Sancho. I understand. Ronaldo came in. He wasn't cheap, but he wasn't expensive necessarily either.
Well, sure, is his
Um,
wage, his
yeah, no, his
wage.
wage.
Well,
Rafael Varane. I'm just
jersey
talking.
sales,
I'm just talking. Transfer fee right
transfer
now.
fees.
Paul
Yeah,
Pogba, Rafael Varane, Harry Maguire, Jaden Sancho. I mean, that's a good $500 million right there that
yeah,
they've spent.
yeah.
Has not worked out. Juan Bissaka.
Mm,
They're
woof.
they're really just buying. Yeah, they're buying players, and they're not fitting like the puzzle piece. Um, I don't. I was upset with Liverpool for a season for not making any signings. And Jurgen Klopp has always been like, look, we're not going to buy anybody unless they fit. And I mean, look at the Luis Diaz signing.
Yeah.
Tottenham, we're going to sign Luis Diaz. Liverpool, hell no. We'll increase the price, buy him, snatch him up, and he fits like a glove. Jota
Yeah.
fits like a glove. Like they're buying
Tragically.
players that they're buying players though that aren't the superstars. Like when we bought Jota, not a superstar. He was kind of meh at Wolves,
Rising
and now
star.
he's
No, he was good at Wolves. Give
like
him
he
and
was.
Jimenez some credit. Give him and
No, no,
Jimenez some
I
credit.
will, I will. But towards the end of the season, he was on the decline. We bought him. He's, what he is now, which is a much better version. A level up. Diaz, I think Diaz was kind of on the radar a little bit more than
Uh, yeah.
you know. Van Dyke and Allison were more on the radar for sure as well. But
Yeah, but you've
I
acted
think
when you
about
needed to
Tottenham.
build the team.
Tottenham, Kulusevski. Dude is like, can't get a sniff of the field at Juve and balling out at Tottenham.
Yeah.
Um,
Bentoncourt as well was not a starter at
yeah,
Juve.
Bentancur. You just think about some of these guys. Coutinho used to be a superstar, but Aston Villa bring him in. Um, Fitz,
Still played well for them. Yo, I
you
have
know,
I have a fun fact for you. I just googled Juan Bissaka's transfer fee. Do you remember what it was? Quick guess.
uh, 50 mil.
It was 55 million.
Woo! $55
Yo, to
million
be fair,
dollars for white hot
I think
garbage.
he's a really good one-on-one defender. I
He
really do.
is. He just
I
doesn't fit the modern game, though.
Yeah,
You
because
have to be able to go forward, and he just
you almost
can't.
want him as a center back. I would
Yeah,
almost convert him to a center back. I would do.
dude, I'd
Go
almost
for it.
make him the DCM. Just
Could be.
don't
I'd be down.
don't give him a bunch of like possession like jobs. Just bro, N'Golo Conte this. Just go
Yeah,
tackle everybody.
defend and pass the ball 5 yards to someone else. That's all we need you to do. Okay,
Yep.
so moving on a little bit.
Okay.
Well, I think to sum up, I think the coach makes a difference, and I
Yeah.
think that
Okay.
goes to show you that buying into a long term project and trusting him and finding a manager that you can trust, right? It, and will develop something for your club. If you have that chance, you cannot let that go. If Manchester United think Ten Hag's that play, then I would rather see that than just continual sackings and
Quick quick
sackings and
quick predictions on that. Like real. I know we're moving on, but real quick. The Ten Hag play Manchester United next year. Like what are they making signings? What are they doing?
signing's not their issue. It's getting people out of the club, and I think it doesn't work because I think United are really losing their allure really quick. So I I kind of am a fan of Ten Hag as a manager, but I felt like
Kind
him
of a
going to
fan. I
Manchester
mean,
United wasn't the play. I think they're just toxic. The whole club is the way the Glazers run it. They're just always taking dividends. Don't care that their stadium is dilapidated and falling apart. So I don't think it works out just because they won't be patient and the fans are kind of turning more Arsenal-ish, just super toxic towards their club. Ain't first sign of trouble. It's Glazers out, Ten Hag out. I just predict that. What about you?
yeah. I hate to be a pessimist, but the way they are right now, I can't see it going another way, and I just don't. Man, they gave Ole Gunnar Solskjaer so much time,
Too much.
too much time, and it drove them into the ground. They've made bad signing on bad signing on bad signing. So I hope Ten Hag can come in and do a good job because I like him as a manager. I like what he did with Ajax. I just don't see it though. I don't
Yeah.
see it. Sorry to
Okay.
interrupt. That's just
No,
an
no. So let's move on. There are various clubs in the Premier League and throughout the world who run their clubs at a deficit, meaning their owners don't care that the business doesn't make money, essentially. They just, they just pump in more money because they don't care. You have groups, that like bought Newcastle, the Saudi group, who can, they bought it for 300 million. The Saudi group's worth like 300 something billion. They don't care, right? They don't care. They'll pump in whatever money's necessary. Roman Abramovich did this at Chelsea. These ownership models do nothing but destroy the game. Do you agree or disagree with that statement?
100% agree. 100%
But
agree.
but what about Roman Abramovich as he got sanctioned and is being forced to sell Chelsea because of the um, obviously the war in Ukraine, but him being a Russian oligarch, if you don't know, listeners, um, people have sang his praise for his single hand development of the Premier League and bringing more money and more sponsorships, more. But I reckon that would have happened anyways, in my opinion. So what would you say to someone who said that money begats more money, and that gets spread throughout the pyramid, which let's just for argument's sake it does.
I mean, in a certain sense, it does, right? Aston Villa get to take $100 million from Manchester City and buy more players. Do
But to do
whatever with
what?
that. Do whatever with that revenue.
But
Um,
but by players that they can't compete.
I mean, yeah, that's the other part of this is now like you're competing with super teams, and I think that the super money breeds super teams, right? And I think that's kind of where the inequality comes in is Burnley can't buy their way out of the relegation zone. You know what I mean?
Newcastle can and did.
Newcastle can and did.
Mm.
Um, I just are you ever like now that Manchester City is what they are, now that um, I is there any way for them to really go down? You know what I mean? Like they'll just
Not
buy.
without being sold. No.
You know what I mean? Like they'll just buy good players, and they'll do it at any cost. They, yeah, I don't know. They can bring in whatever they want.
So here's
It's
my
tough. It's
rebuttal.
tough to compete.
Here's my rebuttal to you saying, well, Aston Villa get 100 million for Jack Grealish, but that inflation in the transfer market then makes them have to spend more on players. So it's like, yeah, they get 100 million for Jack Grealish, but maybe without this super money, they only get 50 million for Jack Grealish.
I
And
mean,
then
but
and then
inflation for what though? Like Aston Villa's not going out to buy Jack Grealish quality players. They're going out to
no,
get,
but
the Ross Barkleys on the cheap. And
right, but on the cheap changes before the super money on the cheap is 2-3 million. Now on the cheap
well,
is 20 million. You know what I
well,
mean?
yeah, but isn't that just like the natural inflation of markets? Everything has gone up in price.
Well, yes, but not to the point where Neymar is going for the likes of 250 million. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah,
That's
no, and
not
so that's
natural inflation, right?
no, and so that's part of it, right? But all
Yeah.
I'm saying is there is a slight argument to go, well, if you want to go the Dortmund, Southampton, um, RB Leipzig, RB Salzburg route of we develop players and then we sell them, that's that's not a bad business model, you know. So Aston Villa then gets $100 million to play with, re-up their squad, bring in Steven Gerrard, bring in better players on loan like Coutinho and everything else, and compete at least to a higher level than they had been. I mean, maybe not without Jack Grealish, but for
Yeah.
maybe the long term, the longevity of the club, maybe this is better for them specifically. I'm not saying for the
Yeah,
longevity of
but it's
soccer.
not. But yeah, I was gonna say there's a difference between a club can make money selling players in Ajax, at Dortmund, Southampton, but they're not changing the game. They're not. Ajax wins titles, but I mean Southampton doesn't. So, anyways,
Here's my other question though. Here's my other question.
okay.
Look at a club like Liverpool, Tottenham. Um, I would say that those are Manchester United is, I think we found out, is self-sustaining but not very good right now. So let's take
Mm.
two good clubs, and they just happen to be our clubs. Liverpool doesn't spend like exorbitant amounts of money, and neither does Tottenham, right?
Mm.
But we don't go out and buy $100 million Jack Grealish, right? You get Kulusevski on a loan to purchase option, and what is the purchase, like 40 million?
It's 40 million. Yeah.
You know what I mean? So does it come down to the front office or the back office or whatever you want to call it of the scouting departments of these clubs to compete, and the coaches? When Klopp came in, Liverpool were solidly in eighth place. Solidly in eighth
I'm
place.
glad you still remember.
Dude,
Put you back in your place.
our best players, think about this. We had Nathaniel Klein, Alberto Moreno. We had. Oh my God, I am trying to think back. This wasn't even that long ago, but like, those are the players that we're dealing with, right? And then you bring in Klopp, who brings in Sadio Mane for $30 million. Sadio Mane is like worth 3 times that amount now, right?
Yeah,
You
easily.
bring in, James Milner on a free from Manchester City. He does some work. You bring in Joel Matip on a free. You go out and you get Mohamed Salah from Roma for $40 million.
Yeah. No,
You know what I mean?
there's good
Like Bobby
business.
Firmino.
Yeah.
Like there's good business to be done. We
Yeah.
bought Jota for $40 million 2 years ago. You guys are getting Kulusevski on a loan to purchase option. All I'm saying is like there is also like Aston Villa. They went out and they spent tons of money with that Jack Grealish money. not good buys. They haven't turned out to be good buys.
Yeah.
Coutinho is on a loan, and he's their best one.
Yeah, we were hyped about Leon Bailey, and we were hyped about Buendia, and
And they have
yeah,
not turned
they
out.
have. I'm not saying I mean Tottenham by no means has had the best transfer record, but I think toxicity. Do you think toxicity from the fans plays into this? Like when fans get so mad, I know Tottenham fans are always saying Enoch out, Enoch out. That's our ownership group because they're tired of, lack of investment. But we just built a $1.5 billion stadium. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We have some of the best training facilities in the game. We have the best fan experience for the game, probably in the league. Then you look at that and say, well, it matters what coach you have and buying into a long-term project because that turns these little smart purchases and then developing them into great purchases, right? That's how you can make money as a club and not have to spend the likes of Man City, Chelsea, Manchester United. So I agree with you. Clubs can be run right, but I think fans got to have a little perspective. I get Joe Louis is a billionaire on it. He lives on his yacht out of the Bahamas, whatever. But here's the thing: is I respect an owner who says, no, this club needs to run itself. We want you to achieve greatness through like being smart, being clever, having, grit, things like that, opposed to, oh, like a Chelsea, how Chelsea's been. Oh, manager doesn't have success for 6 months. He's out. Let's spend another couple hundred million on the squad because our owner is a win at all costs type of guy. So yeah, there are good examples, and I do think Liverpool are a prime example right now of not, living within their means, but also pushing the realm of possible, which is needed. But that I do think that starts with a manager and a back office that
Yeah.
understands, like, here's where we're going, here's how we're going to get there, but we are going to give each other time and have trust in each other. And
Yeah.
to Man City's credit, they've stuck with Pep Guardiola. He hasn't delivered a Champions League yet for how many
True.
years, right?
True, but they've been at
So
the top of everything. Like you can't say that the Pep Guardiola era at Man City's been bad. You know what I mean?
who
Like
couldn't
they've
win
been.
without that squad though? Who couldn't
I
win
mean,
with
I
that squad?
guess, but I guess to like further cement my point, like let me read you some of the names on that 2015-2016 Liverpool squad.
Mm.
Our starting goalkeeper is Simon Mignolet. We had John Flanagan starting at
Simone. It's Simone.
Simone. John Flanagan starting at right back. You still had Martin Skirtle. You still
Yeah,
had
that's a yikes.
Mamadou Sakho, Lovren, Kolo Torre, James Milner, Emery Chan. Not bad. Uh, our front line was Christian Benteke and Roberto Firmino, and Daniel Sturridge.
Hey,
Like
hey, Sturridge was the GOAT in FIFA, so
he
he had
was,
the
yeah.
pace for days. So
But you
I
know
mean,
what
you
I mean?
can't.
Like but
Yeah,
no, but then you think about the club now. I think like the three remaining guys on the squad are Jordan Henderson, Joe Gomez, and James Milner,
yeah,
and Divock, and that's it. We got like four guys.
friggin' Divock. Okay, so
Hey,
I mean,
he's good for a clutch goal.
yeah, but he has the Man City mentality. Maybe he'll go there next.
He could.
Okay, so we've covered a ton. We usually would do chats right now. Unfortunately, no one. Oh, we did just get a chat. What's
We
up?
got a chat.
Any questions from the chat? I don't know if he's here still. Okay, so for those listening, we do this live on YouTube now. So we would appreciate jump into the YouTube, throw some chats in. We're gonna answer them here at the end. So, Jeff, shout out to you in the chat. Um,
Daniel,
yeah.
you got to
So
send me like the link or whatever so I can get this out to the folks.
okay, we'll
Why don't you tweet the link out? You
yeah.
should
I
tweet it
didn't.
out.
Yeah. To be fair, we have done poorly at
Guys, follow us on Twitter
broadcasting.
too.
Yeah, at the Ampod. If you're watching, please like the stream, subscribe, slap some chats. If there's any chats we missed from previous videos, we will cover them. We've missed none, by the way, because they've been few.
Because there have been
So,
none. How about Zach Steffen at the weekend? We didn't get to
Okay,
talk about that.
that's good. So we'll cover just some quick fire hits here for the next couple minutes.
For those
Zach
of you that
Steffen.
don't know, Zach Steffen playing for Manchester City against Liverpool, FA Cup semifinal. This man is allergic to FA Cup semifinals.
Yeah,
This is the second year in a row that he's had a horror of an error that leads to a goal. But this
big
time,
yikes. This looks bad.
he gets the ball caught under his feet on the goal line, and Sadio Mane just tackles him and tackles the ball right into the goal. Um, Zach Steffen is the U.S. men's national team #1 goalkeeper. Here's the deal. Mistakes happen to every great goalkeeper. They just do, right? Mistakes are bound to happen. I think what's different about this is the U.S. have been calling for Zach Steffen to, #1, not be our #1. #2, dude doesn't get play time.
Yeah,
And
go somewhere that you can play.
some people are like, well, he's playing against Kevin De Bruyne week in and week out in practice. It's not the same thing
Yeah.
as playing in a game. Clearly, because the man still thought he was out on the practice field where there were no consequences for getting tackled on your own
Yeah.
goal line.
Which you should be celebrating. Another thing you should be
I
celebrating
was celebrating. Yeah,
is
It was kind of
Liverpool's
harsh.
4-0 stomping of Manchester United.
You,
25% possession. Just an
you.
absolute just humiliation.
Thiago Alcantara, that guy was absolutely sex on the night.
Dude,
He was very good.
Gary Neville said it best. He was laughing at Manchester United the entire game. I mean, all sorts of stuff coming out. I swear, Manchester United have one decent result, and people forget how poor they are.
They're so bad.
Next top hit right here. Arsenal today beating Chelsea 3-2 in just
4-2.
a game. 4-2.
4-2. Wasn't it?
Yes, it was for
Okay.
this penalty that was egregious. Saka grabs Azpilicueta's arm, wraps up like a tiny dancer sung by Elton John. It was incredible. The
I didn't
ref
see
gives
it.
the
I
pen.
can't say anything.
VAR confirms. Oh my gosh.
You're
It's
going to
got
have
to
to
be the
send that one
worst.
to me.
Yeah, I'll send it to you. It's got to be the worst penalty call probably in history. I will tweet out a clip. It's bad. So check out at the Ampod for that. Okay, one more quick hit. Do you have a quick hit? Or do you want me to go for one?
I have a sad quick hit that deserves no commentary, but Ronaldo and his baby son
That is
passed away.
huge yikes.
Liverpool gave a nice rendition of "You'll Never Walk Alone" at the 7th minute while we played Manchester United, and I thought that was a nice moment. I'll be honest.
Yeah,
for as nice
up.
of a moment as you can make that. So,
Yeah,
huge.
Liverpool
That's
unfortunately
so
have
sad.
one of the best songs in soccer culture. Just because I wish that it wasn't them. But
What's your guys' song? Do you have a song?
we got a couple.
I don't even
anyways.
want to know 'em. I don't even want to know 'em.
I won't sing. But so basically, if you don't know, Cristiano Ronaldo had his wife or partner or whatever they go by, was due with twins. One of the twins unfortunately passed away. Liverpool sang their rendition of "You'll Never Walk Alone," which is their famous song, on the 7th minute because Cristiano Ronaldo is number 7. And, it was touching. It was a good measure, especially Liverpool and Manchester United, bitter rivals. But, even I think people around the world can recognize, hey, this is tragic. There's no need for, shenanigans with it. So, heart goes out to them and their family. That's hard on anyone. That's one of those moments where no amount of money or fame can change your hardship. So,
Yeah,
we wish him
that's
well.
tough.
You know who else we wish well? We wish the big guy G, Garen from The Office, well.
Big G.
Nothing bad happened to him.
G.
He just needs a shout out. That dude
He
is
does.
a homie and a half, And
He does.
yeah, so big shout out to
I
Garen.
can't believe he's not in the chat. I'm a little
Yeah,
disappointed he's not in the chat.
I'm gonna be honest. I don't think he's ever listened to one of our podcast episodes, but we appreciate it.
He probably hasn't. So you know what? We rescind the shout out, and we give it to Ryan. Shout out Ryan.
Shout out
no,
Ryan
you know
again.
what? No. Shout out Sandra. I know Sandra's gonna listen to this.
Yeah, Sandra always does listen, and she listens to the end. Shout out Sandra at J Fisher Companies. All right, we're gonna wrap up this podcast episode. Thank y'all for listening. Please share. Jump in to this this 8:30 Wednesday night podcast live. Drop some questions in the chat. We're happy to answer them.
We'll tweet out the link next time.
Yeah, we'll do a little bit better at spreading the word. Everyone take care. Have a great night. Thanks for listening.